Hi everyone, my name is Chelsea, aka Sunsprint on YouTube, and this is my review of House of the Dragon Season 2, Episode 3, The Burning Mill. So, at the beginning of this episode, we have the Brackens versus the Blackwoods, and what a fantastic way to illustrate on a just slightly larger scale than Eric versus Arik the real blood and horror that is Civil War. I like how they're showing you from the smallest casualty, Jaehaerys, right, to a casualty of two brothers, to a war between two factions, small factions. That's a great escalation tactic by the showrunners, and it's going to work out really well and be really impactful, I think, as the horror and the war commences. That was a great call. We get to see Kristen Cole being a complete douchebag for the nth time, right? At the small council, it seems he and Alicent are no longer, on the same page. Now, who could have predicted that? That, sleeping with your Kingsguard and him sleeping with his, charge there, the queen, was just not going to end well. She gives him her favor. Well, I wanted to throw up. But that's Alicent for you. That whole pretense of them having a knightly, courtly relationship. Yeah, right, okay. Blah, again. But it's wonderful to see the hypocrisy played out, and they do such a great job of that. Larys is the new Master of Whisperers. Well, no shit, right? Everybody knew that was coming and saw that coming a mile away. He's been doing it anyway. Might as well get the seat on the small council to go with it. Aegon is still pathetic, and that is probably not going to change. He knows he's pathetic, and that's going to make him extremely dangerous. That thing that he did to Aemon, though, where he got into that brothel at the end and interrupted Aemon's time with his lady, shall we say, that is not going to go over well with Aemon. Aemon is pissed because he may be in need of genuine, comfort. And here comes Aegon to just stomp all over him in this vulnerable moment and reveal him as vulnerable to everyone. And when he turns around and stands up and nude and all that, I was like, oh crap. Everybody was always like, don't wake the dragon, right? With Viserys in Game of Thrones. Not King Viserys, but, Daenerys' brother Viserys. Don't wake the dragon. I could just, you woke the dragon right there. Aemon is peeved. I wouldn't mess with that guy anyway, but that's brothers for you. So there's that. Rhaena is sent away by Rhaenyra with the dragon eggs and the youngest children. Great call for Rhaenyra. I understand that's, I can tell by the way they're showing Rhaena's displeasure and to some extent, Rhaenyra's hypocrisy. Because, Rhaenyra at one point wanted to fly around on a dragon and never have kids. And now she's kind of forcing the fate that was forced upon her, motherhood and everything else. Not necessarily forced, but you know what I'm saying. On Rhaena is kind of that chain where you just pass down the unfairness of a situation to the next generation and keep it going. But it is the best call. I mean, what else do you do with a lady without dragons? I don't know what else you would do with her, and I don't know, it kind of seems, of course Rhaena's not going to be happy about it. I wouldn't be happy about it either. But it is the best call. I can't imagine anything more important than that duty right there, going to someone who's probably not going to get wasted immediately by another dragon. Yeah, that just makes sense to me. So good on Rhaenyra, and I'm sure that won't actually happen the way it's supposed to because Rhaena is pissed about it, so she'll probably go find herself a dragon and get herself killed in true Targaryen fashion. The plot device where Rhaenyra goes to Alicent, where she sneaks into King's Landing dressed as one of the nuns and into the Sept of Baelor. I like it and I don't like it. I love Rhaenyra's bravery, the overture that she makes, the decision to just see Alicent face to face, and thinking, if I die, well, whatever, at least we tried to avert this. That's very bold and very brave of her, and it speaks a lot of Rhaenyra as a character. I love Rhaenyra. However, that's not real smart. Like, let's be real for a second. In a non-television show, I'm not sure that would fly. I'm not sure you could get into the Sept of Baelor and nobody noticed that it was you. And even if you could, that Alicent would just, get up and leave. I'm not sure Alicent has that much honor left in her body, frankly. I would think that she would have immediately stood up and called for guards at the end of that conversation. And that would be the end of it. So, I'm not sure you know what I mean? It strains credulity. Now, if this had happened somewhere else, say for some reason Alicent was en route to somewhere for some reason, and, Rhaenyra was able to essentially kidnap her, take her somewhere, and sit down with her and have a conversation, that I could believe, actually. I could believe Rhaenyra would be capable of taking Alicent, plucking her up, taking her somewhere on that dragon, putting her down and saying, okay, we're going to have this talk. And then also Rhaenyra having the ability, the nobility, perhaps, the honor to take her back and just leave her. I don't know. Maybe that's kind of dumb too. Saying it actually sounds dumb as well. But I just don't fully buy that Alicent leaves that place and just lets Rhaenyra walk away. Because I think Alicent is a lot more cutthroat in some ways than Rhaenyra is. She doesn't like to do it directly, but she indirectly is. So, anyway, it was really neat to see them talk. It was wonderful to see the Aegon thing, aired out there, where now we know that Alicent knows that that's what Viserys meant on his deathbed, and there can be no mistaking that all of this is now Alicent's fault. However, I just don't know that that was very logical, that all of that made total sense. But that's okay. Not everything has to be perfect. It is TV, after all, and fiction. That's a small criticism in an otherwise really great episode. It was a little bit slower than normal, but that's okay because we're leading to something huge, I'm sure, in the next one. It just feels like it's building to the real beginning of the war, and all these kids are going to get everybody killed, That's these hot-headed kids with swords in their hands and dragons. Yeah, give the nukes to the kids, I think another reactor said. Oh, that's exactly what they're doing, so... yeah, we can anticipate that's not going to go so well. It's too bad they didn't let Aegon just fly off, right? Dang, I would have paid money to see that. Anyway, I'll catch y'all in the next episode. That's all I've got for this one.